This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast.
That was like a meeting to do. You okay there?
Swatted at it.
You did.
Set my timer for 29 minutes. I've done swatted at it, baby.
How is microphone level? Because I moved this table around.
It's fine.
How's
We just get it. We get close to our facey face and we're good to go. Yeah, mine was so far away.
Yeah, yours was so far
It was very uncharacteristic of me.
And I almost said something, but I don't have what is a loving prompt for that? Because sometimes you don't like being criticized.
Asshole. I'll be an asshole
so it's tricky sometimes to give you a loving prompt because
yeah, I completely get it because sometimes you make the same mistake for years. So
but I do, but I think I'm more apt to at least hear your criticism or your suggestions. What's a good prompt that won't make you mad?
Won't make me mad? Well, are you afraid to make me mad?
I don't like feeling your anger. It's so fascinating. Listen to this book. I can't wait to have all these juicy conversations. Because, yeah.
Okay, so what's a good way? Me saying, baby, you're too far away from the microphone sometimes takes a year and a half. So what's a good way for you to tell me that I'm too far away from the microphone?
That's a good link. Is that okay? Just a little diddle? Because it's like kind of pleasant, like it's connected to pleasantness a little bit.
No, no.
I'm just getting in the middle of a serious thought. I'm going to go. The sad thing was you were sharing such great things, and I could tell you were far. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does matter. The way to do it for me, as far as a suggestion, is just ask a question.
Well, you do a nice hand signal. You'll go like this, and in the middle of my talking, I'll move the mic closer or my head closer. Do you want me to do the same thing? I want a silent one.
A silent one?
Sometimes I notice it. There's this beautiful thing when I'm listening, like the rest of the world. Sometimes I'm paying attention to what you're saying, but I'm also thinking about, oh, wow, the mic's too far from his
I
face.
completely get it. I've been doing that for the last year and a half.
Oh,
like
you know
when
what?
excuse me. Oh, I'm talking. So, yeah, I completely understand that because I edit our podcast and we've probably had this conversation directed to you a half dozen times. So,
Anyway, baby, good morning.
Good morning to you. And you know what? I hear your correction and I'll make it the very first time. I completely hear what you're saying and I acknowledge it and I love you so much and I will make the correction the first time. No, I was totally quiet. I totally pulled a you last week where I was like, I was just too far away from the microphone.
And so okay.
It may be time to get even bougier microphones. Like get the Shure.
It might get the Shure, yeah.
These are Shures, but get the other Shures.
Well,
the industry standard Shures.
Our new
SV7Bs.
What am I going to call him? Like my consultant? No, he's like.
Can we say his name?
Our professional.
Can we say his name?
He hasn't given his consent.
Okay.
Anyway, there's a profesh in town that I've brought in to consult on our set.
It rhymes with Zach.
Cut that out?
Nope.
Anyway, I think he'd be great with it. Anyway, he's professional, and I met him through our wonderful TV show, Moving for Love. He shot my pickups, and when they told me to just go somewhere in town, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And sure enough, amazing, highly professional, kindest soul in the world. And so I've been feeling really frustrated with, I know what I want in this space, and I know enough to make me dangerous. Like, I know that it can happen. Yeah. And so I've been moving and playing. For those who are watching visually, you might notice, I've moved things around. I disassembled and reassembled an entire bookshelf yesterday. But anyway, yeah, he's going to help me.
Nonverbal that'd be a good one.
Love it. I'll do it.
No, that's blowjob, honey. That's the universal penis sucking.
Okay, honey, we have two options of what we could talk about today, and you get to pick. Okay, we'll save the other one for the next episode.
This is fun. Okay. All right, I'm in.
We could talk about Adolescence, the TV show.
Okay.
Or we could talk about launches and landings, rituals that we have developed in our day of beginning and ending our days together.
Launches and landings.
Okay.
Begin. Begin, please.
It's like you chose your card. It's like a magician.
I am
Pick a
so
card.
hyper aware of where my mouth is compared to this on this microphone.
That is
now.
how I feel after you correct me. I'm like, constant, do your eyes cross? My eyes cross. I'm like, oh God. And then when I get loud, I'm like, gotta move my head. It makes you really appreciate singers, like professional singers, when they're actually singing and you see them move the mic in and out.
Because these mics are the professional singer mics. These
Yes.
aren't like the podcast mics where they do get sensitive as you know, so.
Yeah, we do have, yeah.
Welcome back to the Partnership Podcast where we talk about...
Technology that you didn't want to know about.
Right, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, back to
They
routines.
don't care. So I just finished reading a book, Wired for Love, where Stan Tatkin talks about this idea of launches and landings, of how we send one another out into the day and how we land our day together, end the day together, and how incredibly impactful they are. And I was weeding our front yard and smiling ear to ear because I didn't realize that we had done this unintentionally. And he's talking about as primal, right? If we go back kind of to our animal state, how lovely it is. Think of animals, right? Think of a dog who curls up on their bed at night. Animals, if you watch them, our cats, for instance, we come downstairs, they are sitting on the ledge outside ready for their morning food if it's the right time of day, are very ritual mammals. And it's wild to see. We are the same. We are the same. And he shares all of this research on the benefits to the nervous system and to the pair bonding, which makes us thrive in the world when we can look forward to these rituals, these launches and landings. They're just amazing. Okay, so let's start with launches because it's early in the morning right now. We have a lot of things we do in the morning together. Would you talk us through some of our, like a daily morning launch in the Trey and Lauren life? What
Sure.
it looks like? And then we also have some weekend versions.
Yeah. This morning, alarm went off, hit the snooze, or just turned it off. It was like 6:30. Your alarm went off. I was hard this morning. Roll over.
This is very much a ritual.
Roll over.
You're
Penis.
going to share this.
You asked you on launch and landing. This is my launch. So roll over, penis in between Lauren's thighs. But I don't thrust. I'm respectful. Because it's not time for sex. I'm just letting her know literally what time it is. Not always hard in the morning. But this morning, particularly aroused. Then we do our cuddles. I think I rolled over because it was time to get out of bed, but she kind of instinctively, because she's much longer than I am. She's like a tarantula. And I'm the fly. And so she just kind of wraps herself in me, and it's so nice and lovely and warm because you don't really want to get out of bed, but you do. You need to get out of bed. So we did our cuds, we did our cuddles, we did kisses. Not a lot of on the mouth, because we're not making out because our breath stinks, particularly my wife's in the morning. She got stinky breath, and then we gave touches and cuddles, and it was like time. We both got out of bed at the same time this morning, which happens occasionally. It doesn't happen all the time. I'm usually out of bed first, and then we made the bed and downstairs for like that ritual. So that was our launch together this morning.
I would say 50% of the time we get out of bed together.
Nope.
Yep.
Inaccurate. Go ahead. Go ahead with the rest of your... Go ahead.
I think, okay, would it be fair to say 50% of the time we do that cuddle moment, though?
Sure.
Yeah. I didn't think you were going to bring up the morning erection moment. But I think everybody who listens to this podcast knows that your tingle time is in the morning. And regardless of whether or not we copulate, you often do remind me of your desire for me in the morning. And it's never, oh, now you should be obligated to give me sex right now. Not at all. Sometimes it leads to that because I don't have a podcast and then a day full of clients to get to. But most of the time it doesn't. But it is a part of our morning launch. I would say, yeah, the anticipation of coffee is a part of our morning launch. Kind of this like first thing you and I both are getting excited for. I'm drinking coffee and my mouth is salivating, thinking about what happens in our bodies when we know that we've already prepped coffee the night before and we're going to get to have it in the morning. Oftentimes, if you've gotten out of bed before me, you bring me coffee in bed.
She started doing this new thing where because our bedroom is right below, or excuse me, above the kitchen. So she's starting to like drop things. Or do you ever just take your heel and just kind of bang on
I haven't done that yet.
You haven't done that yet.
I did this because you started to share, because I'd be like, how did you know that I woke up? And you'd say, I heard the rustling.
Yeah.
So now if I've woken up and I don't hear your steps on the...
Because Lauren, like certain days, she's like, no, I want to sleep in.
My weekends.
Those certain days where we both get out of bed at 50% of the time at the same time. Those days, she doesn't want to be bothered. So I...
High quality podcast content. The audience
Sex ed for you / So yeah, so she started to rustle, like to intentionally make noises when she wants to be presented with coffee.
I have one of those mag chargers on the phone, and it often, once I pick up my phone, like slides off the bedside table.
She drops a lot of stuff. Dude, she drops a lot of things.
Because it doesn't stress me out. My window of tolerance is so broad. Contrary to you. Anyway, but that MagSafe charger will often fall off the bedside table. So sometimes
What is a MagSafe? What is mag? What is that?
Isn't that what it's called? The magnet chargers?
Oh, magnet. Okay.
I think that's what they're called.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know why they call them that, but I think that's what Apple calls them.
Because it's magnet. I just didn't know what mag was.
Anyway. Since it falls off regularly.
It's a technology show now.
It feels very normal for me to just boop.
So you just push it off like a cat would off of a table and then you get coffee?
I'm up.
So I'm Pavlov. And you're the dog.
I mean, then
no, I'm the dog and you're Pavlov.
Get kisses.
I do.
And okay, so this is another part of Stan's work in Wired for Love. He talks about the things we know that will light up our partner's face because there is a positive feedback loop when we see that expression on their face.
100%. Because when I'm in bed and you're up and like you go get coffee and you bring it to me,
my God.
It's better than fucking Christmas.
And 100%, I do it because I can't wait to see the excitement on your face.
Yeah.
It's not that I do it to be subservient, and I doubt that's why you do it either.
Because I'll get in trouble or something?
No. Like, oh, I must bring this coffee to my man in bed. I don't think you think I must bring this coffee to my woman in bed.
No, it's not an obligation.
No. It is literally a piece of joy. And I just am telling you I'm up when I go boop. I did it yesterday.
So we're both conditioning each other to drop things when it's time to be served coffee.
And if you didn't come, like I would come downstairs. Like it's really fine. If you were in the basement stretching and didn't hear my knock, it would be fine. So I think that's a part of the launch too, is that it's like we have all these conditional different launch mornings. We have the get up together kind of ritual of morning erection tucked between Lauren's legs. Lots of cuddles. You're right. If we are getting out of bed together, there is like snuggles galore.
Yeah.
And then we're both like, want to make the bed together? And we're both like, yes. It's almost motivation because you get to make the bed partner.
Yeah. Making the bed takes like 30 seconds versus like 2.5. It's so tedious solo making the bed.
The 2 minutes it takes to do it solo.
Our lives are hard.
So I think we have that ritual and then getting coffee together. And then we have the ritual of I stay in bed longer. Boop. You bring me coffee up. The ritual of you stay in bed longer and I bring you coffee up. And then I think we probably have a completely different one. But I do think we have several launch rituals, which are really fun.
Okay, do you want to transition to the putting the plane in the hangar? What was it?
So,
Is landing when we go to bed?
Yeah. It was really interesting to listen to this book because he talks about the power of sleeping in the same bed together. And he talks about, again, den animals type of thing. And I have clients who I'm sure listen to this podcast who sleep in separate bedrooms than their partner. Some due to sleep stuff, some due to schedules with work and all this type of stuff. So I want to preface this by saying that I always read a book with a little bit of, okay, what am I going to extract from this book that I do love, that I think will be helpful for multiple people? And what do I disagree with? It is always okay to read a book and be like, I don't know if I agree with all of that. Because I do think that there are many situations in which sleeping in separate beds actually improves the quality of the relationship because you're getting so frustrated with one another. Perhaps one snores, perhaps yada yada. Now, do I think that installing a landing ritual after listening to the science of this book might be a good idea, even for those sleeping in separate rooms? An opportunity to come in and tuck the other in or say goodnight, have a little tea moment, something? Yeah.
Tea moment? Gossip?
I meant like a sleepy time tea or chamomile tea together at night or something like that.
Oh, well, I mean gossip.
You do mean the gossip.
All right.
You mean snuggling up and being like, hey, time for the evening tea.
Yeah, let's talk shit on other people.
Okay, but for the sake of this podcast, because it's ours.
It's a technology podcast.
This tech podcast, high tech. Go to sexedforyou.com/tech. Don't. I'm not making a page. What would you consider our landing rituals, the things that we do at the end of the day? And do you think we go to bed together at roughly the same time most days?
Yeah, like actually going to sleep for sure. I've been so into getting in bed at like 7:30 at night lately.
Tell the audience what happened last night.
I went out with a dear friend, but it was at like 7 o'clock and I'm showering to go to our favorite bar and have drinks with one of my favorite people in the world. And I'm like, I want to go to bed. The sun's still fucking out. And all I want to do is go to bed. Not actually sleep, but just like get in bed. What are we talking about?
Our evening rituals, our landing rituals.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so some of them we'll want to get into bed. We'll sometimes want to watch a show. We'll want to pick a show. Like, is it something like a cooking show that's like relaxing and mindless and we don't have to think a lot? Or is it something like Adolescence where it's, holy shit, this will hit you over the head with how either good or how dramatic it is? White Lotus. Like we look forward to that. So yeah, we'll watch a show in bed. A lot of the nights, if we're too tired, we'll just go to bed. We'll do cuddles. Part of our rituals, like I'll usually give you a kiss on the head when it's time for you to move away from me so we can actually go to sleep. Because if Lauren had it her way, I would be her, third pillow for the entire night. But I'm not a pillow. I'm a man. 40. And what else? Sometimes we'll giggle. We'll do kisses, but she's wearing mouth tape now, so it's like a one-sided kiss where I'll just kiss her through the mouth tape and there's a little hole in there. I'll tongue it.
We ask some important questions at the end of every day.
Before the mouth tape goes on. Oh, yeah, no shit. Okay, this is actually valuable, people. Whoever's still listening to this, God help you. We will ask, what was your highlight of the day? Like, what were your favorite parts about the day? And then we'll ask any ouches or boo-boos. And any ouches are, have I, like, hurt you in any way? And then we've installed any boo-boos where it's like, it's not even a hurt. It's like a kind of a, it's like almost a note. It's like, do you have any notes for me?
This happened. I felt some way about it. I don't think it was an out.
And that's what we do.
Yeah. I also thought it was boring content until I was listening to this book and they were talking about all the ways in which, like, literally, because all these hormones do the things. You've actually read some on this, right? And the brain is doing all these different things as it's coming down from the day. And the fact that we are doing it together is really fascinating from a hormonal standpoint and a brain standpoint. And I don't think I had given enough validity to it. Why are you smiling?
No, keep going.
Okay. And then I thought about, I have a whole previous marriage to think back on, and I was going to ask you about some of your previous relationships too. We did not go to bed or rise together. We did not. Now, we all know I love my ex-husband, and he is an artist. And artists have certain different tendencies. He is very nocturnal. He's very creative. He is a genius when it comes to the creative. And so so many of my colleagues would say, these types of things are really important when you are seeking out partnership. The kind of rhythms and patterns of somebody's day, because I just constantly felt alone when I went to bed. So this guy talks about, even if you had decades of singleness after you left your family of origin, if you develop these patterns of sleeping in a bed together, nesting with someone or denning with someone in essence, and then one of you goes away, we just had when you went down to Florida, you can end up feeling a little anxiety filled. Like, where's the other person in my bed? Like, I'm not used to sleeping like this.
I get that. Yeah.
We both experienced it, and we would definitely, in his terms, he talks about an anchor, an island, and a wave with attachment styles. You and I would both be islands. Like, we really love functioning on our own. It's fine. Is it an avoidant attachment style? Sure.
But then we like smashing against each other.
But we really are developing a very strong, secure attachment together. And so he's saying, as all of my colleagues do, and you and I have said this, it is not wrong to need the one you love. It is not. We provide a ton of juicy brain stuff and hormone stuff for each other in the night while we sleep.
I get that. Yeah, because we reach over and we like touch each other.
Did you feel me last night when I was awake for forever?
No.
I couldn't fall back asleep. And I was like, Lauren, why haven't you done it? And I just gently put my hand on your knee because it was close to me. Literally, you regulated my breath. I fell asleep in 5 minutes.
I don't remember. I don't remember feeling
I was afraid
that.
you would wake up from like, sometimes you'll say like you feel the energy drain, but I needed I was just awake and I needed to calm. And literally your body did it. So yes, Stan was sharing how when we go to sleep alone or wake up alone, it really can put our body in a nervous state when we have a partner. And that having some landing rituals are really beautiful. I think also coffee prep is a landing ritual.
Yeah. We'll do that together sometimes, and then sometimes we'll be solo with it, for sure.
One of my favorite.
And then it's a treat also where it's like one of us prep coffee and then we brag about it to each other. And then that's another surprise thing where it's like, huh, why is it? Okay, okay.
Right? I thought these were silly things. And I'm like, whoa.
Well, they're very important things because it's genuinely, it's like you prep coffee and you cooked and...
Yeah, on Sunday, was it Sunday or Saturday? I made the bed and
you made the bed, yeah.
And prepped
I requested
coffee.
that you make the bed also.
Yeah.
Where I go, baby, if you have time to like help.
I think you meant like my stuff though. You know, like I have the certain things that I love to do on the bed. I don't think you expected me to make the whole thing and like.
No.
Yeah. I think you just meant I love to fold the corners on the bed a certain way.
Yeah, or if you wanted to start, or like,
yeah.
or we could do it together.
I think you said if you have time and capacity to start.
Because this is my job, this is my work to do, is to start asking for help, especially when I have the capacity. That's hard for me, to actually ask other people for help. If I have the energy to do it, that's difficult for me, and I'm getting better at it.
Yes, you are.
So I'm asking for help almost out of abundance or like with a full tank. Yeah.
Okay, go back to the coffee prep is a nightly thing that we know we want to be done.
We do it every night.
It has to be done.
We do it every fucking night.
Love it. We prep it to go off at 6 a.m. or whatever, and it's amazing.
And we wake up to coffee. You don't have to do it in the morning. It's great.
Highly recommend for anyone who loves coffee as much as we do. Or let me not. We are not coffee. Like we don't like a pour. I'm sure we'd enjoy a pour over. We're addicts.
We'll take it where we can get it.
Exactly. Like so, if you're not bougie, because this is not bougie.
We're bougie with coffee, honey.
I don't know.
Baby, we're not everyday working men with coffee. We're bougie with the shit.
We're bougie with the shit.
Yeah, agree with me right now.
We're bougie with the shit. What is when one of us preps the coffee for the other? Yeah, is that another one of those little light up moments?
Yeah, because it's like it's like a chore that we don't have to do, or it's a chore that's been done for us. Right?
Yeah. Because I get excited for your face. I get excited for the excitement, which I think is so beautiful, because that's what and I just want to compliment you, because I know what I'm going to get. I know you're going to get, you brought coffee, baby. Thank you. Or you started coffee. Sometimes one of us will start prepping and the other one will be like, boop, 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 boop. You'll hear them like running throughout the house because we have capacity. Maybe we're just scrolling on our phone or something not important. And it's like, oh, I'm going to go help with that task, which is one of our landing tasks every night. And the times when we'll do it for one another is if one of us is home earlier in the evening, and you'll sometimes go out with a buddy on a Thursday or something like that. I'll often do it that night. I go out with a best friend on Wednesdays and you prep it then. It's just...
We have our date. Like Wednesdays is actually your prep.
Do you let me do it when I get home?
Uh-huh. Or I'll help. Or sometimes I'll do it.
That's another fun thing that we'll do is you'll do half, because we talked about that. It's just the light up, and it definitely feels like a landing ritual. It feels like a part of our nighttime routine.
You had to explain the half thing to me, because I didn't understand it at first, where it's like, no, I want the opportunity to help and contribute. And then it's like, oh, I get it.
I love it. When I walk in and I see like the coffee ground holder open.
You're set up for success.
Yeah.
It's not all done, though. It's not done for you. You're set up to finish.
You did the part one.
Yeah.
Does the whole prep take 2 minutes? Yes. 5 minutes max? Yes. You saved 2.5 minutes for me to do. And I feel like an equal partner there, and it's really special. I do think, the evening ritual of highlights, ouches or boo-boos, which I know we've talked about on here before, is so important. I think that it really gives a feeling of closure to the day. We're celebrating with one another, which just feels so nice to be heard. There's a lot of cuddles at nighttime. Last night you fell asleep holding me. Do you know this? Like wrapped around me. I even have, your 8 sleep would give you data on it too. Because there's like, we slept and then we woke up and parted, but you wrapped around me and fell asleep so quickly. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, it's usually something I don't do. I like to be like not touched.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you do the forehead kiss when you're done with the cuddles. Usually,
do a little step.
It's like a very specific. Mwah.
Yeah, give you a Heisman.
We are done.
Little push. Yep.
We are done here, and then I get a little shove away.
We're done.
We're done here. Now it is sleeping time, which I totally respect. Yeah, and I think we go to bed at the same time often. So before we wrap up, the thing I wanted to ask of you, I mentioned this already with first partner. I don't think we had many, if any, of these. Did you? With previous partners?
Nothing like that we have. And it's interesting where like the relationship that I would look at first is like, no, I remember going to bed not happy a lot of the time. Or at the end, that's kind of what you remember at the end. I remember going to bed not happy.
Yeah. I just think you and I make too light of them. And so listening to this book, I was like, whoa, we need to talk about this. Okay, now having had this conversation, what do you think that our launches and landings provide for you? Now that we have a term for them.
Touch. Touch. Like kind of reaffirmation that I'm important to you.
Yes. don't even let's stand in that. I'm reading about how incredible it is for our hormones.
Reaffirmation that there's nothing wrong or nothing that needs to be addressed. My previous partner, and this was a relationship about 10 years ago at this point, I was dealing with alcoholism on the partner's behalf. And a lot of time, it was the first thing I thought of, where a lot of times going to bed, I didn't want to touch her because I was not happy with the amount that she was drinking.
Been there.
And then it's like, oh, fuck. And then it's like, when she drank a shit ton, she snored a lot.
Yep.
And it's like, I was going to bed feeling resentful.
Mm.
And then I like to go out. I like to tie one on, drink a bunch. And I like to let you know beforehand that I'm doing that, so it's not a surprise to you, because I've surprised you in the past because you've dealt with alcoholism in a former relationship as well. And I came into the room and you said, Trey, like, you reek of booze and it's really triggering right now. And I acknowledge that, and that's the last time I'd like to do that.
Thank you.
Because it surprised you, yeah?
Shocked me.
Yeah. And it was done responsibly, and it was. And am I a mean drunk or a nasty drunk or anything?
Let me clarify. What surprised me was the trigger.
Ah, yeah, okay. Because you knew I was going out that night.
Yeah. I knew who you were going out with. I knew where you were. This wasn't even. No, you are kind, responsible. You'd walked there and back. Like, there was nothing was in danger. I was not in danger. You were not. It was fine. It's so funny. This book, again, is talking about, with memory, we attach smells, we attach felt experience, we attach sounds. And for me, it was a smell. And for those who are not aware, yes, I also dealt with alcoholism, but it was hidden and lied, and I was gaslit. And I would be told, no, I wasn't drinking, but I could smell that smell of alcohol seeping off, out of the pores of the body. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Like good gaslighters. Fuck you. Fuck you. Because you doubt yourself.
You do.
You doubt your eyes and your ears and your nose at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, baby, same question to you. What do the landings and launches, right?
Yeah.
What do they provide for you?
You know what? It feels a lot like coming into the harbor on a boat. It feels like home. It feels like no matter what the day entailed, there's a few constants. There's a few things that I can look forward to every single day. And yes, they may be silly, like the coffee ritual, but they feel that's how they feel.
I haven't shared this. It's my job to provide that to you. So it's my job to go about my business, do the things that I want to do the things that I need to do, missions and purposes, and then be present, like in our family.
Yeah.
To provide those things to you.
Yeah. And I haven't told you this. I also view it as my job. It is my job to coach and teach and love on the hearts of all of my precious clients all day. And to make sure that you have the touch that your body needs, that you have the holding, that you have the eye contact, that you have the love and the nurturance that you are deserving of, no matter what happens out there in the world, no matter if the world is kind to you or mean to you that day, that you know that I am there. It is my job, and I take it seriously. And I think that what we are seeing through this is that by having this moment of focus in the morning and then in the evenings, we are assured of that. Our nervous systems are like, yeah, he's got me. Yeah, she's got me. Which then enables us to go out and pursue those things that we really want to pursue. Knowing that there is a safe harbor to come home to at night. Knowing that somebody has half prepped the coffee. Knowing that someone will ask me about.
It's pretty important walking into our home with almost certainty that you're not going to be too drunk or that I have to clean up after you or that I'm going to be like lied to or misled or gaslit. Thanks. Like getting used to who you are. Yeah, shit. I don't want to take it for granted that I don't get that this is a safe place to come home to. Fuck. Because I haven't thought about that in a long time. What it feels like to come home to the opposite, where it's like, what am I walking into?
We've talked about this separately. I don't know if we talked about this on here, where I didn't want to go in the house. I mean, I would come home from rehearsal and things and sit in my car for hours because I did not want to go inside because I didn't know what I was going inside to.
I've been there in a roommate situation where I didn't want to enter my house. I was there for maybe 6 months. I remember that. Yeah. Sat in my car after work. It's 11:30 at night and shit.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't want to go in.
I don't want to go in. I don't know what I'm about to go meet.
Yeah.
It was like I would need to armor up after being so tired.
Yeah. Huh.
It was really hard. That makes me think, though, we didn't even mention this. Yes, we have launchings and landings, but we also do something when either of us comes home.
Yeah. We make, I don't know how it started, but we make like kissy sounds and then we kind of find each other throughout the house. And our house echoes where it's like sometimes we don't know where the fuck we are.
You're just hearing kids.
It's a little house. It's not like it's a fucking...
No, but it's wild. We have a big like open stairway and I think that contributes to it or something.
But we'll do... And that's one of our things. And then we'll embrace and like we'll touch and we'll like just say hi to each other if you're not in session.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a...
Every single time we come home.
Yeah, and it's nothing that it's like, okay, we need to do this now. It's just something that we do now, and it would feel odd if we didn't.
In fact, you said it the other day, just kind of, you were like, do you ever, if now we've become so accustomed to this, we must have been doing it for a year plus. Mm-hmm. I mean, it has been going on. It happens every time. And you said the other day that if it doesn't happen, are you like, did I do something wrong?
Or it's wrong? Like, or is she gone? Is she on a walk or something? And I am... pretty much, I'm pretty much trained to know if you're in session or not because the sound machine is on. Either you're in your office downstairs or you're in this very room. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you are in this room and you don't need to turn on the sound machine. So sometimes it doesn't get, and then I just assume. Okay. And then if you're not up here, then you're dead. That's she's been kidnapped.
You've been out in your golf shed before, and I come in kissing because your car's here, and I'm like, I look all around the house.
Sure.
Yeah. The other day, Wednesday, his husband had picked you up.
Yeah.
I came
on
home,
the fly.
I could not find you anywhere.
I don't think I
was
texted
just
you.
Kissing through the house. No, it's totally fine. I was in session.
Yeah,
That's what it was. I was coming out of session. It was like a random. Trey's not that spontaneous, and so if he's gone spontaneously, I'm like, did he die?
It was a buddy of mine.
Abducted?
It was a buddy of mine, and he has a 6-year-old, and he's like, "Yo, we'll pick you up," and I'm like, "Let's do it." And we went out. We got beers.
So the happiest in the world.
And then the 6-year-old, because we were talking about like curse words or something. Because I think I let one slip.
And then like apologize probably to the dad, like or
yeah. And he's like, no. He he hears him. He just doesn't. And the little boy turned to me. He goes, "I'm allowed to say him every now and then."
He's brilliant, hilarious little boy.
So funny. And he turns to dad and he goes, "Can I say one?" He goes, yeah, you can say one. And so he like leans over to me and he looks right at me and he goes, "Motherfucker." I lost my shit. It was so funny. And that's a good one. That is a classic. That is a classic curse. It's so funny to hear kids curse.
We've been saying it around the house, like in that same whisper. Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, but I think the kissing sound, like what a sign of affection. Little kissing sounds echoing through the house. It's pretty precious. And then, yeah, we connect. We give physical touch, big hugs, big snuggles. And then usually then the other person goes about their business. Like it's not like this long thing. But talk about this lovely anticipation of what's inside is looking forward to your homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything greater in the world? I don't think so.
Versus the opposite, where it's like, I'm afraid to walk in the door, which is like, no, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to that. I know what that feels like. I don't want to go back to that. So yeah, I would like to continue just being responsible to each other.
I would like that.
Oh, and when I get high, when I go out into the world and I'm high or I get high, I actually, now as a practice, I just text.
Mm-hmm. Which just really, I think a lot of us probably who listen to this podcast and who exist in this world have had a friend or partner who has abused substances at some point or another. Trey does not. And my nervous system loves to know when there is an effect of a harmless thing like marijuana in his body. I have no problem with it.
And if I'm slightly off or I'm a little bit more goofier, then she knows why versus like, because as a teenager and as like a 20-year-old, you're supposed to hide being high unless you're around your buddies or something.
Trey's a 40-year-old man.
I'm 40.
He can do that on his own time. And it is really, really great that he'll just say FYI. I am. And I'm like, love it. Or most of the time, I don't even respond now. I'm just like, that's nice to know. Yeah. And it's another declaration. He has his full autonomy to himself, but it keeps my body that literally had substances hid from going into that space. Lovely. It's just lovely. And on the off chance that he forgets, if I ask, he clearly says, oh yeah, I took half of a gummy 3 hours ago. And I'm like, great. I am never gaslit.
No.
Last thing I wanted to talk about is he
talks
talks about
wrap it up.
The value of eye contact with a partner. That oftentimes we don't sit like this and make eye contact with a partner. And that what we do is the brain wants to do the least amount of work possible. And it wants to make shortcuts. So we're like, oh yeah, I don't know. I look at them when I talk. But really, we don't. We like sit side by side and talk. We talk in the car, or we talk, not saying we, but as human beings. We don't do a lot of this. And then I thought of this darn podcast and how for years now, we have once a week been sitting across from each other, looking at each other's eyeballs. And Dr. Stan, would say that has such tremendous value because we're looking at each other. We are seeing in real time the response. I mean, I just started crying. We both realized how important that was. And that was a conversation that we made time and space for, that we wouldn't have had otherwise.
True.
And that we do so much assumption in relationship. And again, he's like, it's not necessarily bad because it creates room for other things to happen. But we are ever evolving human beings. And it's really good to look at each other when we have conversations.
Thank you, Stan.
Thank you. Makes me happy there's another Stan in my life. I used to have a mentor named Stan once, and I miss that person. So this is nice. Anyway, thanks for this conversation on launchings and landings and rituals. And thanks for looking me in the eyes. And I know that it is your job that you take seriously to provide those things for me. And it's so good for my nervous system. So thank you. I really think it allows me to be a better educator and coach. The way you love me. Even when I ask you to bring me coffee. Thanks for coming to this episode of the Partnership Podcast. Trey just started nodding. He's like, would you please wrap this podcast?
For the last 30 seconds, it's like, just do the outro.
Just out us. You didn't do an intro last time. These are our opinions. Our opinions only. Even Stan's in Wired for Love are his opinions and his opinions only. Take what you like, leave the rest. You have a right to informed decision making and self-determination. If you liked this conversation, you're like, oh wait, I want to make intros and outros with my launches and landings with my partners.
If you like this conversation and you want to talk to Lauren for money,
go to sexedforyou.com/free consult. I see all of you precious people out there. And I'd love to chat with you about the obstacles you are looking to overcome or the rituals you are looking to build with your partner and see if we're the right fit. Again, sexedforyou.com/free consult. And thanks for being here, y'all. Bye-bye.
great job, babe. Business as usual. You're so